Hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at Out of the South. It is always a great honor whenever I get to work with the center or with FSU Pride Club on any endeavor that we take here to try to make Florida State School and Florida in general a little bit more welcoming. I have been asked to speak here on kind of recounting as best as my own personal experience can attest to, the nature of equity in my own life and how we come to approach that. For me, the nature of equity has always touched very deeply on me as someone who exists in an intersectional space, being both queer and a person of color, and someone who is on the autism spectrum. It's important to be able to advocate for myself and find some advocacy to make sure that I'm being accommodated where I need to be. And that hasn't always been easy. Just the matter of getting accommodations at school for myself and many of my friends has been somewhat of an uphill battle. Oftentimes we have to advocate for ourselves in order to let people know what we need, whether that be some aids such as loops in order to help make sure that we don't become overwhelmed or overstimulated. Sometimes that means letting people know that you need to be referred to by the correct pronouns, even if that means making yourself vulnerable. Sometimes that means just letting people know that there is a need that needs to be met. And that can be nerve-wracking for so many people. It can be incredibly intimidating to let yourself be vulnerable, to acknowledge that you need help, and to fight for the help that you do need. But it is incredibly important that we do so, and that we seek out help wherever we can. It's also important to acknowledge when those resources are not being made available to us, when they aren't being made accessible. Just walking downtown, I often think about the fact that I and my friends often will check the windows of different stores to see what stores have a little sticker saying, "All are welcome here," with a little Progress Pride flag, to know where we're allowed to be ourselves and where we can shop. It's a small thing and something that might get overlooked, but just knowing that we can be there and not have to feel that anxiety, and that we can be ourselves, that we don't have to be thinking about our dead names or have to worry about what we're shopping for, or people are looking at what we're shopping for, can really help us. Just yesterday, I went with one of my friends to Ross to look for some gender-affirming clothes, and it was really enlightening and a little nerve-wracking to just look through those different aisles, trying to find things that might look good, and also trying to make sure that we weren't drawing any attention to ourselves. As our former speaker pointed out so eloquently, a big part of equity is meeting people where they are. It's acknowledging that sometimes a one-size-fits-all solution doesn't actually work. The difference between equity and equality is that with equity, you acknowledge the fact that people have radically different experiences, that they're going to have radically different needs, and you meet them where they are. Find and curate solutions that work for them, so that way that we all have equal opportunity and the potential for equal outcome. That has not always been easy. Certainly not always been easy here, but I'm very thankful to work with the center to help make things a little bit easier on everyone else. Just in this past few years, I have had the privilege of being able to help connect some of the people from the Gulf Coast Pride Club with therapists that are accepting, so that way they can be able to be met as far as their mental health needs are concerned, and without having to fear discrimination. And I also have the wonderful privilege of being able to help direct people to the small movements to help handle things such as name changes and other legal matters with regards to transition, to make sure that they have the same access to things like drivers having their driver's license reflect what their actual gender identity is, which does come up a lot when it comes to workplace equity. And just trying to secure a place in the workplace is very difficult for people in our position. Dr. Sellers, when I was talking about going over my resume with him, mentioned that you really shouldn't include a photo with your resume because many people still discriminate based on certain features or based on race, based on sexism. And so to eliminate some of those barriers, it's important to not include that. To help elucidate more on the ideas of discrimination, I'm pleased to introduce Michelle Smallwood. The first step in fighting for your rights is understanding what rights you have. Michelle Smallwood has studied the law and dedicates her time to the Gulf Coast LGBTQ+ Center as a director. Please join me in welcoming Michelle Smallwood to the stage.